That's a lot better. All right, so far we've hit some shots here, and what's awesome about the usage of TrackMan is that we don't have to use a lot of the visuals that we usually have outside, just like by seeing it with our naked eye. We can actually use the numbers that we have here on the screen to indicate, is he actually hitting the shot that he's hitting. So Cam, what we're really focusing on here is I'm not worried about carry distance, I'm not worried about total distance, I'm not worried about club head speed or any of that.
Yeah.
The biggest thing that I'm worried about is height right now. And one thing that we're starting to see with the height difference is that there's a lot more control to the golf shot. So I'll have you just keep staring at that screen, but if I go over here to the computer and I control the mouse, even though these shots are a little shorter than the previous shots that we hit before with the full swing, you'll see, wait, where are our shots at? There we go, here we go. So the height here is only at 73 feet versus like when we had other shots here like this 185 one, which was 104. Now, even though this was longer, it's a little bit farther offline versus that 151 yard shot, which is lower at 73 feet height, and it's a lot closer to the line. Even though that we are giving up some distance for it, it's a lot more of a controlled shot, which in some cases, there are days on the golf course to where we will sacrifice distance for control. We're not going to go out every day and be able to hit the golf ball pure, simple, straight, far. There's going to be days where it's like, all right, we got to take a little back, we have to keep the ball in play, we have to keep the ball in front of us. Because a lot of people think that knockdown shots are just for when we're, just when it's windy out, or when we're trying to hit a golf ball to run out and chase. I use a lot of knockdown shots for when I'm not playing very well. Exactly. I want to keep the golf ball nice and controlled in the air, want to keep it in play, because right now, when you're on the golf course, you're not in a position to start fixing your game. You never want to do that. I don't care if it's a tournament, I don't care if you're playing around with your buddies. All it's going to do is deviate from the actual goal that we have on the golf course, which is to shoot a number. When you're on the golf course playing, you're trying to shoot a number. You're not trying to, you're not trying to fix your swing. You're not trying to be a shot maker. That's what the range is for. That's what the practice facilities are for. That's what we're doing here is that we're trying to carve our golf game so that way when we can go out onto the golf course, we can rely on our skill to basically produce those results and produce those numbers. And so, when plan A isn't working, we have a plan B. So what we're focusing on here that was a little different than the last lesson that we had is that I'm making sure that we're simplifying a little bit better. We're going back to that more of a condensed swing. More of a condensed swing, and beforehand we had you really pressing your hands forward to really deal off that club. But one other way to try to simplify it, which is another way for other people to do it, there's 1,000 ways to skin a cat, is putting the golf ball farther back in our stance than usual and keeping our hands in the same position. That way we're only changing one or two things in our swing instead of applying 3 or 4.
Doesn't make you super uncomfortable.
Exactly, exactly. Because that golf ball is farther back in your stance, you're going to naturally de-loft that face because your arc of your swing is coming into the golf ball at impact a lot quicker than it would be more toward the front part of our stance, more toward the middle part of our stance. So that way it's going to naturally want to de-loft. One thing we have started to notice is that we are putting a lot more ground when doing that. We're having to have a little more of a steeper attack angle. We don't have enough time to kind of lift up on the golf ball, which is helping us keep our face de-locked through the shot. Do you have any questions so far about the shot that we're trying to hit with this knockdown shot, or anything that you're just curious about?
No, I don't think so. Dynamic loft was another one I might want to have up on that, just to see how much.
Oh, how much it's changed?
Yeah.
Let's see.
From
Let's
one
pull
of
it
the
up.
shots.
Yeah, let's pull it up here. So we know that this 185 shot was normal, and this 151 shot here was our knockdown. So if we go here to dynamic loft, or actually we don't even need this, we can condense it. The dynamic loft on the shorter shot was 25.4, but on your 182.5, your dynamic loft was 24.9. So a little different reading there. Remember, dynamic loft is all about what happens to the golf club, what happens to the golf ball after the golf club strikes, basically hits the ground.
Yeah.
That could have been a little bit different there because this was more of a draw shot versus the last one was a cut shot.
Yeah.
So that definitely has something to do with it. But what we're really concerned about right now is not so much dynamic loft, but so much around cut. And what I'm more concerned about is where you're. What I'm more concerned about right now is where your spin loft is at, which that was 28.7. It was 30.2. But again, height, and because of because of your simplified shot, you're able to kind of straighten up your club path and face angle a lot more, which is able for the shot to, excuse me, able to come off more straight. Even though we had a little bit more cut, I believe it does come from the dynamic loft. Yes, great.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is that long enough?